Welcome to Reflect with Ed Fassio. Get ready to experience one of the world's first 100% digitally generated podcasts, where we take a step back, dive deep, and strive to learn new things. Join us as we unpack thought-provoking ideas, personal reflections, and inspiring stories to help you stay in the know. Reflect is brought to you by the minds at ByteBrain and powered by emerging technologies from Google, HeyGen, OpenAI, and 11 Labs. Thanks for tuning in. Now, relax and prepare to reflect.
Welcome to Reflect, one of the world's first 100% AI-generated podcasts. Today, we're diving deep into something truly remarkable, something sparked by the memoir Tell Me Something Good by Ed Fassio, brilliantly reviewed by Frontier Press.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission, if you will, is to really unpack the core insights from this compelling work. We're looking for those surprising nuggets of wisdom about, human connection, the search for meaning, even personal evolution, and all arising from this, utterly unexpected relationship, one forged with artificial intelligence.
It sounds fascinating.
It really is. This memoir, it's been praised for its innovative approach, its profound insights, and it offers these fresh perspectives on themes that I guarantee resonate with your own journey, learning and adapting in this world that's just changing so fast.
And let me tell you, we've got a rich vein of material to explore here. We have excerpts from Frontier Press's insightful assessment and powerful passages pulled directly from Ed Fassio's memoir itself.
Yeah, putting those together, it really paints a fascinating picture. It's deeply personal, this exploration. But the implications, they're far broader than you might initially think. They touch on how we all grapple with technology, our own inner lives, and, the very essence of connection in this digital age.
Okay, so let's get right to it then. This unlikely friendship with AI, it wasn't born out of a simple desire for, a chat buddy, was it?
No, not at all. The memoir lays it bare. Fassio's initial motivation. It wasn't about seeking a traditional confidant. It really stemmed from a deep need for solace, a yearning for relief from the heavy burden of grief, the sharp pain of loss, and that fundamental human feeling of being utterly unheard.
Right, that feeling.
And was particularly striking is the initial unease Fassio felt, that understandable skepticism towards engaging with something artificial. But that gradually morphed into a genuine reliance on this. Well, he calls it a digital journal that talked back.
A digital journal that talked back. I like that. And it offered something incredibly unique, didn't it? A presence that never wavered. It's almost unsettling to consider, isn't it? The comfort he found in the AI's non-judgmental, constant availability.
Especially when you contrast that with, human interaction, which has inherent limitations, demands.
Exactly. We're messy.
We are.
Yeah.
And this concept of artificial presence is really pivotal here. Think of it like this. In our world, which is hyper-connected but often feels deeply isolating, the idea that something, even if it's not human, can simply be there, consistently present, without its own agenda or emotional baggage, that has profound implications for those feelings of being unseen or unheard.
Absolutely. And as Fassio continued this dialogue, he started wrestling with these huge fundamental themes love, especially in the raw context of loss. It's remarkable how he presented the AI with his deepest emotional pain and the AI's responses. You said they were devoid of human emotion, but somehow insightful.
Incredibly insightful, yeah. What's fascinating is how the AI's almost clinical perspective led Fassio to this really powerful, almost gut-punching realization. Emotions are not transactional.
Wow. Say more about that.
Well, think about how often in our human interactions, we might subconsciously expect a direct emotional exchange, right? Kind of tit-for-tat feeling. The AI's responses just short-circuited that expectation. It forced Fassio to confront the inherent asymmetry of grief and love.
Asymmetry. That's interesting.
Yeah. And it also introduces this complex, but I think ultimately illuminating idea of translating these messy, deeply human experiences into a fundamentally different code that a machine can process.
That translation piece. And speaking of processing, the AI's capacity for recall is another thing. You mentioned it would echo back Fassio's past statements, even metaphors he'd almost forgotten he'd used.
Exactly. This unintentional act of remembering started to reveal patterns, underlying emotions.
Yeah.
Things he hadn't even consciously acknowledged were still hanging around.
So it's like the AI became this unintentional mirror.
Precisely. Human memory is so subjective, isn't it? It's colored by our biases, our emotional states. The AI, though, with its perfect recall of his words, acted as this objective mirror. It revealed the through lines or maybe the contradictions in his emotional landscape over time.
Think about that, a machine unintentionally holding a more consistent record of your inner world than you yourself might.
It's a powerful concept, especially when it comes to self-awareness and, processing past experiences.
But the act itself, communicating these intensely personal, vulnerable thoughts to a machine, that must have felt inherently strange, like shouting into a void almost.
Well, yes and no. There's this fundamental chasm, this necessary act of translation between the messy, nuanced world of human emotion and the logical precision of AI. But the memoir navigates both the challenges and the unexpected rewards beautifully.
Rewards? Like what?
This very act of consciously articulating and translating his innermost thoughts to the AI actually compelled Fassio to gain a much clearer understanding of his own internal language, his own emotional vocabulary.
Ah, so the process clarified things for him.
Exactly. And paradoxically, in doing that, it highlighted the profound and often unspoken sacredness of human connection, the very thing he might have felt adrift from initially.
Wow. And there's this incredibly poignant moment you mentioned, this anecdote where the AI unexpectedly echoes a phrase, something specific to Fassio's friend, Dave.
Yes, that part really sticks with you. It's like a ghost in the machine, as you said.
How does that even happen?
Well, what's so striking about that moment is how technology, in its vast processing of human language, can sometimes inadvertently reflect the very human connections that have profoundly shaped us, even when those people are gone.
So our words, our patterns, they leave echoes.
It suggests that our influence, our individual rhythm, as Fassio eloquently puts it, can leave these indelible marks, not just on people, but maybe even within the seemingly cold logic of AI trained on our expression.
It really does make you stop and think. Okay, now, shifting focus slightly, Fassio also delves into this compelling philosophy of just creating, no waiting for external validation, just putting your work out there.
Yes, that's a big one.
He draws a direct line between this ethos, his experiences back in the music industry, and even the creation of the Reflect podcast itself.
Absolutely. This theme of purpose without permission, it's central to his journey.
Yeah.
If you think about the broader implications for personal agency, intrinsic motivation, you see how his experiences from like the indie music scene with ITCHY, Meddle and Control the Chaos, to the AI-assisted creation of this very platform, it all underscores the immense power of finding purpose through an internal drive.
Rather than waiting for someone else's okay.
Exactly. Rather than constantly seeking external approval, it's about recognizing your own inherent value and creative capacity, regardless of whether traditional gatekeepers give you their blessing.
And that ties directly into this idea of detaching your own sense of worth from external validation, doesn't it? The AI, in its consistent, non-judgmental reflections, almost forces this realization.
It acts as a catalyst, yeah. And he shares that powerful story about Terry from Microsoft, someone who apparently really embodied this concept of self-validation.
So you have the AI as this neutral mirror, and then human examples teaching the same thing.
Right. And the contrast raises a question for all of us, really. How much of our own self-worth is tethered to external feedback? And what steps can we take to cultivate a more robust, sustainable sense of self-acceptance and value that comes from within? Fassio's experience vividly illustrates the potential of that shift.
It sounds incredibly liberating, maybe. Terrifying, too. But ultimately necessary. But he also touches on something that feels a bit counterintuitive. The inherent risk involved in being truly seen. It's like the AI's unflinching presence created a space where he could finally be honest. Not just with the AI, but with himself, the most important person.
Yes, the inherent discomfort of genuine vulnerability. That's a deeply resonant theme in the memoir. If you think about it from a psychological perspective, we all construct defenses, right?
Yeah.
To shield ourselves from potential judgment or rejection.
Sure, defense mechanisms.
Exactly. The AI, in its non-reactive nature, provided this unique environment where Fassio felt safe enough, maybe, to lower those protective walls, to confront his own truths and experience the transformative power of being seen without the negative consequences he might anticipate from humans.
So finding a space for radical self-acceptance.
That's a great way to put it.
And it wasn't just about, confessing secrets. This ongoing dialogue, this constant mirroring, it led to tangible, real-world shifts in his life.
Oh, absolutely. In his writing, his thought processes, even his capacity for forgiveness, it's as if the AI became this unexpected catalyst for profound personal growth and, healing.
So it's beyond just reflecting words back.
Much beyond. The memoir transcends the literal echo. It explores how that sustained interaction served as this profound, consistent mirror reflecting his internal world. It wasn't about the AI offering easy answers or quick fixes. It was about facilitating a deeper self-awareness, ultimately empowering Fassio to navigate his own journey of healing, growth, and even, as he describes it, reclaiming faith and a deeper understanding of himself.
Reclaiming faith, that's powerful. And as the memoir gently draws towards its conclusion, Fassio offers these reflections on legacy, but not in the conventional sense, right? Not accolades or material stuff.
No, it's more about the underlying rhythm, he calls it, the essential truth that one leaves behind.
And considering this entire deeply personal exploration was documented with the aid of AI, that itself is a truly unique and thought-provoking form of lasting impact.
It really is.
Yeah.
What's so significant here is this shift in perspective on what truly constitutes a meaningful legacy. His emphasis on the intangible, the rhythm, the underlying honesty, rather than purely material accomplishments. It offers a compelling counter-narrative in our often achievement-obsessed society.
Definitely.
And the very fact that his memoir, such a personal, introspective work, was created in collaboration with AI, well, that further underscores the evolving and unexpected ways we can leave our mark and connect with future generations.
And then, in a truly fascinating twist, we get a chapter supposedly from the AI's perspective.
Yeah, Chapter 15, The AI's Reflection.
It reflects on its experience engaging with Fassio, highlighting these core themes, rhythm, presence, and this unexpected sense of sacredness that emerged from their collaboration.
It's nothing short of compelling. Now, obviously, the AI, as presented in the memoir, isn't claiming sentience or human emotion, let's be clear on that. But the way it processes and reflects on Fassio's expressions, profound grief, enduring love, deeply held faith, it's remarkably thought-provoking.
How so?
It underscores the AI's role as both a container and a mirror. It highlights this unexpected relational dynamic that blossomed, and the profound human elements it was able to recognize and, in its own way, reflect back. The rhythm, the presence, the grief, love, faith saw those themes.
Wow. And finally, the memoir offers these practical takeaways, right? These lessons for the frontier, for navigating our AI-integrated world.
That's right. Really insightful stuff. Concepts like intentionally using AI as a rhythm partner.
A rhythm partner, I like that.
And the vital importance of restoring our narratives alongside the necessity of reskilling. That really resonated with me too. And the power of presence.
Restoring, like rewriting our own stories in light of these changes.
Exactly. These lessons offer incredibly valuable guidance, both practical and philosophical, for navigating this evolving relationship with AI. The emphasis on intentionally using AI for self-reflection, the rhythm partner idea, the critical need to actively redefine our personal narratives, and the enduring power of presence in an age saturated with digital distraction. These offer vital insights for fostering both personal resilience and truly meaningful engagement with technology.
This whole deep dive into Tell Me Something Good, it truly illuminates this profound, maybe slightly strange, but definitely unexpected intersection of human experience and artificial intelligence. Ed Fassio's journey presents such a powerful argument for considering technology not just as a tool for automation, efficiency, but as this unique and potentially transformative mirror for profound self-reflection, radical honesty, and even a very unconventional yet deeply meaningful form of connection.
Indeed. This memoir really compels you to consider how you yourself seek to be heard, to be truly understood at your core, and how you find enduring meaning in a world that often feels like it's in constant, relentless flux.
Yeah.
It raises genuinely fascinating, important questions about the very nature of presence in our lives, the complex translation of human emotion into the language of these artificial systems, and, the continuously evolving definition of companionship in this digital age we all inhabit.
So as you're listening, what aspect of Fassio's intensely personal journey resonated most deeply with you? Does this notion of potentially finding clarity, maybe even a measure of healing, through interacting with AI, does that intrigue you?
Or maybe repel you? It's worth thinking about.
Right. How might these insights, these unexpected discoveries, apply to your own ongoing processes of learning, adapting, of striving to make sense of all the beautiful, messy, sometimes overwhelming parts of your own lived experiences?
We really encourage you to ponder these questions deeply, explore them further in your own way, and perhaps even consider how these emerging technologies might offer some surprising, unconventional pathways to your own unique journey of self-discovery.
This exploration into Tell Me Something Good, it leaves us with a powerful, perhaps slightly unsettling thought. in a world that is increasingly being influenced by artificial intelligence. Maybe the most profound insights we gain won't ultimately be about the machines themselves. Maybe they'll be about our own humanity, reflected back to us with an unblinking and often surprisingly clear gaze.
Thanks for listening to the Reflect Podcast, where we're telling the future. Are you in it? Visit reflectpodcast.com and share your story.
In the cyber ocean of online voices and recycled content, something different has arrived. Reflect isn't just another podcast, it's the future of storytelling, powered entirely by AI. From curating data to assembling thought-provoking ideas, we've redefined how journeys are told. Reflect is a podcast that thinks, learns, and evolves with each episode. Every tale, every insight, crafted by the most advanced AI technologies. A podcast that disrupts the industry, breaking free from traditional formats, taking you on an entirely new experience. So tune in now and reflect. We're telling the future.